This is a video about how a multicultural classroom environment opened my eyes and my heart. My name is Carrie Reynolds, and this video is meant for anyone who travels business globally. I was hired as an educational specialist for a major corporation. Part of the job requirement was to travel to a location and train technicians how to repair medical equipment. My first assignment, I was sent to Germany for 3 weeks. It was my first time out of the country and away from my family. Unfortunately, English is my only language. To start, the flight was 12 hours long. I have never been on a plane so long. Then, when I arrived, I noticed German signs were everywhere. Some also included English, which I was grateful for. This sign says, "Do not enter roadworks. Watch for children." The first day of class, introductions were made. First, Faisal from Syria was introduced, then Pavel from Israel, Giuseppe from Italy, Ahmad from Iraq, my counterpart from Germany was Andreas, and myself. We were quite a diverse group, but I realized as I was sitting there, we were all so different, but we had this goal of learning this equipment together. I found it very interesting that a couple of the students could speak 3 languages. They all spoke at least 2. I learned in most countries it's a requirement to learn English in school. It was also very interesting that some of the students in the class had a military background. In fact, their countries had been at war against each other. This was a subject we dared not discuss. I was asked by Pavel if I'd ever served in the military. That's when I found out all the women in Israel served 4 years. There were several events through the 3 weeks I spent with this group which changed my life and the way I see things forever. One such event was one day we came back from the class from lunch. Faisal and Ahmed were speaking heatedly in their native language. One was pointing to his computer and making agitated gestures, and then pointing at the computer again. Boy, was he excited. I couldn't help myself, so I went to see what they were looking at. Unfortunately, it was a picture of a dead man with no head. My initial reaction of horror was quickly replaced for an appreciation of what this man actually viewed was an act of the value he placed on his family. When an intruder tried to come in, that's when he killed him. I realized at that moment, and I saw so clearly now, what it is to be an American. Not to ever have been exposed to this violence, which other countries are exposed to every day in their lives. On the lighter side, I have a habit of saying God bless you when someone sneezes. After a couple days of saying God bless you, I was cornered by Faisal and Ahmed, and they asked me, "What are these words you're saying to us?" And I realized, oh yeah, God bless you has no meaning to them. But once again, it highlighted the differences in our cultures. The testing process was another opportunity to learn about the different cultures. The test was written in English. There were many misunderstandings of the test questions. I learned from this experience to write questions with no hidden meanings, no tricky questions, and not to be confusing. The test should be written to be taken literally. The days in the class were long, but after class we spent time exploring the area together. We went to the Mercedes Museum after work one day. Liking cars seemed to be something we had in common. Before this class, my impression of Middle Eastern men was they are controlling and chauvinistic. What I learned from spending time with this group of gentlemen is they cherish the women in their lives. They have a tremendous amount of respect for their mothers. We were a multicultural group which came together with a common goal of learning the equipment. Through the process of getting to know each other, we found out we have a lot more in common. This experience opened my mind to what learning in a multicultural environment is like. It also opened my heart to appreciate the differences between our countries. So if you're ever traveling for business, remember, keep an open mind and keep an open heart. Thank you.